Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and welcome to Show and Tell 115, 116. Once again, I forgot to double check. It's a thing. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Before we get started, this is the Midnight Tank Top. I will leave a link down below for the pattern. I made this a couple months ago. Et voila. This is using the new Karen cotton cakes from this year, the marley tonal variation ones. Anyway, it has been I've gotten a lot of projects finished. Thank you guys so much for the comments and approval and project pictures of all of the shawls that you guys have been making using my tutorial. I am absolutely ecstatic that you guys are enjoying my half circular shawl as much as I am. I can't wait to see the alterations you guys make. I've seen some picot borders. I've seen some added texture stitches. I've seen people doing it in different weights already. I am so ecstatic you guys are enjoying that pattern as much as I do. And speaking of which, I completed the one that I started in the tutorial. I will leave the tutorial link down below. This is another 8 wedge shawl like I did in the tutorial and like my other flamingo chunky one was. And this one I did add the picot border to the bottom edge of it, and it does have a slip stitch border across the top. Like I said, you can finish it in any way you want to as long as you're keeping your increases even to the outside. I mean, it's super easy to do whatever you want to do with it. So I'm very excited to have that done, and that used another 3 skeins of the bulky weight yarn that I have. I do have another one started upstairs in a size 3 yarn with a size 7 hook, so we'll see how that goes. Add that to the pile of stuff that stays down here. Woohoo! This Saturday, I will have another tutorial that will be up on the channel, and that will be for my 3rd loop half double crochet dishcloth. A number of you guys have asked about how I do these, so the tutorial for that will be up on Saturday. I still have not woven in my ends on this one, but this is the one from the tutorial. So another finished object. And that is to help promote the Wishes for Wings project that Rose over at Rose Likes Crochet has been doing. This is now her 2nd year working with them. So please go check out Rose's videos on Wishes for Wing, or just Rose in general, because she's hilarious. She's a chocoholic, like many of us are. And definitely go check out her channel. It will be linked in the description box down below. As always, I do have my description box information down below. I try to share my patterns, any channel mentions. I do have some affiliate links down there. We have now added Premier to my list of affiliates, or affiliate links. So we have Knit Picks, We Crochet, and now Premier. So feel free to purchase through those if you so choose. If not, that's fine too. What else is in my basket of magic over here? So I have a whole bunch of the like Red Heart Boutique and sachet kind of yarns, and I've been trying to use some of those out of my stash. So I did some cowls, and these were super duper simple, but the metallic up here is actually holding it as a single yarn instead of using it as a ruffled yarn. And I held it with some Charisma from Loops and Threads. So this is just a big, bulky, squishy cowl. That'll go to my donations bin, but it's fully machine washable. It's super soft and squishy. Squishy, squishy, squishy. And I'm pretty happy to have, once again, that's 2 balls of Charisma plus like 3 balls of the sachet out of my stash. And then up next, we have another cowl. This one I think I'm keeping for myself. It's, I actually used some of the yarn that I got from the Mary Maxim box that I really didn't know what I was going to do with it. I was thinking about over dyeing it or something, but it's the Gina yarn that we got. And once again, I held the sachet yarn and just did some red stripes made a center gather spot so you can kind of wear it kind of off to the side like that, or you can something like that, or use it to keep, that way you don't have stuff floofing out of the back of your jacket. Kind of keeps it down, excuse me, in the back. But I really enjoy how that turned out. Oh, sorry, it's like 95 degrees here. It's very and I was just outside getting the mail, so I'm but yeah, that's just, I mean, once again, it's just playing with half doubles with a large hook. Neither of these cowls are anything difficult to do. It's just half double crochets in the size I was thinking of. And last up, we have a cowl. I have not blocked this. I just finished this last night. This is from KT and the Squid. It's the Sunday something, like ice cream sundae. But when not to just name drop Rose constantly, but she is doing a use your knit crate or fancy yarn kind of casual make along this year. And this is using 2 skeins of knit crate yarn. These are the Brooklyn Boy knit skeins that I got. And you can see the bitonal effect here. But I saw the pattern up Friday. She was offering it for free on Friday. It is a paid for pattern normally, I believe, but I will have it linked down below once again. It was very, very simple, but this does need to be blocked because we have eyelets over here on this side. Kind of see them. And then it's a solid stitch on the other side. So this does need to be blocked out so you can see it, but these are the yarns that I use. And it's like I said, the blah, 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 blah words. These were from the Brooklyn Boy Knits collaboration from last year. And I can't remember the color names, but they were 100% merino. I love how this turned out. I may or may not have to do this again if I have some more, and particularly these beautiful hand-dyed looking yarns. I might have to do it again. She used a higher contrast yarn for her pattern using 2 of her yarns, but I had these and was like, oh, that would be really cute in those. So that kind of leads me to the next thing that I wanted to talk about. I am trying to keep my videos under 20 minutes, so forgive me if I keep kind of accidentally segueing from one thing to the other, but one of the things I've gotten questions about of late have been, how do I pick patterns and yarn? And this was kind of one of those, there's so many different ways to do it. I could spend an entire video discussing how to pair things, but the truth is for me, generally, I pick a yarn that I want to work with and go find a pattern that works for it. And I'll use a tool like Ravelry or something like that, or go through like my Love Crafts patterns that I have stored and see what matches up with what I have. Ravelry is a really good tool for that. I know that there have been some problems with Ravelry of late. People not wanting to use it or promote it, but it does have an option on the sidebar when you're looking at patterns to choose, free in your library, a Ravelry designer purchase on there. You can pick a yarn weight to work with, how many yards you have, what hook or needle you want to use with it. So you can really hone in on a group of patterns that would be really good to work with. But frequently, another thing that I end up doing is, I'll see where a designer has released a pattern for free for the day. Like I follow KT and the Squid on Facebook, and I get the emails from them, or like Expression Fiber Arts on Friday does free patterns on Friday. I'll subscribe to designers like that, and then it'll spark something where I'm like, ooh, I have the perfect yarn for that, and go, there's a weird sound coming from outside my room. I think it was a cat, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll see a pattern like I did with the cowl and go, ooh, I know exactly what I have that'll be perfect for that, which is one of the reasons why I don't mind my overwhelming stash because I don't like shopping. I don't like leaving my house if I don't have to, for the most part. Like I keep saying, I'm an indoor cat. I don't like peopling that much. It makes me very uncomfortable to have to go out places and spend extended periods of time outside of my house. I'm not agoraphobic, but I am kind of an introvert when it comes to things like that. So it is exhausting for me to go out. So I can't enjoy things when I get home because I'm too tired. But I do like having the ability, when I see a pattern like this at 5 o'clock on Friday night, I don't have to go anywhere. I can just come downstairs and be like, oh, I know what works with that, and just grab it off the wall and go. But like I said, my number one way to pick a project or a yarn to work with is I'll come down here, look at the wall, go, what do I want to work with today? Grab it, see how much of it I have, and see what I can do to maximize it. Now, I do, for the most part, when I do it that way, when I pick the yarn first and then the project, I do try to pick a pattern that will use the bulk of what I have. I'm trying to not end up with so many single skeins in my stash or half balls in my stash. I am working on scrap busting projects as I go. I've got my granny squares that I'm making out of the worsted weight. I've got my corner to corner squares that I'm making out of my leftovers from the DK and sport weight scraps. Last year I did the big wrap poncho thing that I used up all of my bulky weight scraps. I do have a glorious granny scrap going with the bulky weight yarns as I'm using them this year, trying to go through some of my bulky stash. So I'm trying to not be left over with, you know, that one skein, that one hank, that half ball. I am trying to pick projects that will maximize using all of what I have of that color group. And this was perfect because this was two skeins, or one skein of two different colors, and they were made to coordinate to go in a project together. And this just, I didn't like this yarn for the pattern, though I really like the pattern that came with that month's knit crate. I didn't like this yarn with that pattern for some reason. It just didn't speak to me. But, you know, by waiting a year, I found something that I think is absolutely perfect. And while you're not wearing it, it does kind of look a little odd. I think once it's twisted and on, twisted and on, the way the colors come up together like this, I think it's perfect. So that's why, yeah, I do find my stash a little overwhelming at times, especially trying to keep it organized where I can find things. But because of the way I pick projects and the way I think about going in to make a new project, I really don't mind having to dedicate a huge space in my house to it. So, yeah. But that's how I pick projects by and large, and that's how I'm using up my scraps and trying to minimize having so many scraps at one time that it just, you know, I've saved them up for years before and done, you know, big scrap blankets and stuff. I'm trying to not do that again. It was a little overwhelming trying to push through all the scraps a couple of years ago. The year I started my channel is actually the year that I set out my very first goal of ending the year with no extra scraps, no added scraps to my scrap bins. So, and I did really, really well. I did a rainbow corner to corner blanket using just red, orange, yellow, and went through the entire color spectrum. Then I did a granny square, big giant granny square blanket using worsted weight scraps, and kind of got all the old scraps out of my stash bin. So now I have bins that are fairly small. I mean, they're 2.5 to 5 gallons. I mean, I've never tried to volumetrically measure them. I've shown them to you before. And I will not let myself get beyond that. Now my fingering weight scraps, 20 grams, go into my advent calendar. Worsted weight, 20 grams going into my advent calendar for December. But other than that, I'm trying to use them as I finish a project. You know, that's why I'm ending up with all these little things, you know, popping up as finished objects as well. So this one, I did have 20 grams of each of these left over. I will not be putting that into, because this is a wool versus the acrylic, I will not be putting this into the advent calendar, but I do have a lot of other worsted weight wools. And I might next year try to do an advent calendar out of the worsted weight wool. So we'll see how that works. We'll see what next year's goals are for, you know, targeting certain things in my stash to get used up. Yeah. It's been, I mean, my brain is just fine because I have so many things I want to get done and so many projects I want to be working on right now. I am working on the Yarnable project for July. It should be done in the next 24 hours, hopefully. I'm on the last little bit of it. I have my Christmas, the third Christmas blanket going to the household with the 3 kinder. I have my half circle shawl. I have a beanie hat going, but I also have a shawl pattern I'm dying to try. I have the yarn caked up for that. I have my Road to Nowhere shawl started. Like, I have so many things that I'm just dying to work on and getting my hands into and working through right now that, I mean, my brain, when it comes to crafting right now, once I start talking about it, it's like my brain is a mile a minute of the things that I am just dying to sink into. And I also have Setta's tank top sweater pattern that I'm dying to start. And I have the cake of yarn set aside like for that. I have my hexagon blanket that I've been working on. I have my cozy murder mystery cowl that I've been working on. I mean, I've just got so many things that I'm itching to get my fingers back into that I seem like a, well, not that I'm not a ditz or anything, or that my brain doesn't go 900 miles a minute, but days like this where I'm just really excited about what I'm working on and what I have going, what I have finished, it's really hard to not just the whole time. So, as always, if you guys have any questions about anything in this video, please feel free to reach out on Instagram or my email. They're down below in the description box. And if you're working on my shawl pattern, thank you so much. I am so excited how happy you guys are. Keep an eye out Saturday for my next tutorial, which will be for the dishcloth, the round 3rd loop half double crochet dishcloth. In August, I will have a tutorial for how I do my lemon peel dishcloths, and you'll realize, really, for the things that I've designed, with the exception of the hats that I've done in the past, most of my designs really aren't hard and fast things. Like the shawl pattern, you can work it with any size yarn, any size hook. It's up to you. Just go and enjoy. You make merry with it. It's not you must do it to this size, or you must. I kind of guesstimate everything. It's like putting together like a coleslaw dressing or something. It's not an exact recipe. I put, some mayonnaise, some vinegar, some celery salt or celery seed in there, and whatever smells good that day. Like, I don't think of these patterns as hard and fast rules. I mean, with this, you can make it as small as you want, as big as you want. You can border it, you can not border it. Same thing with the shawl. You can do it in 7 wedges to 9 wedges, and it's still going to look fantastic. It'll just have a slightly different fit, because 7 is a perfect semicircle, 8 starts to bring it in around the shoulders, and 9 makes it hang down the front like a poncho. So it's getting your mind around working in the shapes and thinking of the shape that you're making and working in that shape. So as I continue to share some of these things like the lemon peel dishcloth, it's really more about getting your brain around what your preferences are for things, the shapes you are trying to obtain in your crafting. Not so much you have to cast on 30 stitches, you have to work 35 rows, you have to put this border on. Crafting should be exciting for you. You should be enjoying the process. And to me, these kinds of patterns are what I use to break out of my funk. When I lose my crojo, these are the kinds of projects that I go to, because I can just be creative and do whatever I want. There is no hard and fast rule. It's not like doing a garment where you need measurements to be very specific to fit a body. These are preference, 100% preference driven. So you don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. It's just getting into a groove and keeping your hands busy and enjoying the color or the yarn or something like that. So don't think of these tutorials with the dishcloths and the shawl and stuff as I must XYZ. It's, ooh, I like this. What if we, and put your own spin on it. These really aren't patterns. These are just creating shapes and enjoying it and enjoying the process. So I did kind of want to throw that in there. I forgot my note. I know there's something else I meant to discuss in this video and totally forgot, but it's okay. That happens too. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to reach out in my email or by Instagram, or you can always leave a comment down below in the video. If you have found yourself unsubscribed to channels recently, please go and double check the channels you think you've been unsubscribed to and resubscribe to them if you want to continue getting the notifications and things like that. You do have to, do the little bell notification thing. But I have noticed once again on my my personal account, where I watch like crimes and people reading Reddit videos and yeah, that stuff. All the good non-crafty content that I consume is over there on that. I watch off that channel, but or that account, but I'm noticing that I'm not subscribed to certain people. Like I am a fairly recent subscriber to like Bailey Sarian's channel. If you're into true crime at all and love watching people put on makeup, great channel to watch for Murder Mystery Makeup Monday. But like I was subscribed to her. I only subscribed to her about 6 months ago, and I've been watching her every Monday. And now she's got the new series Dark History, and I've been watching that too. And all of a sudden I was not subscribed to her anymore. So it's not just the channels you haven't been watching. Some of them seem to be falling off of channels you are actually watching and engaging with. So double check that. I've got to do the same thing on this account and double check the channels that I'm subscribed to, because I know there's certain people that I haven't seen popping up recently with new videos, and I'm wondering if I'm not subscribed to those channels anymore. Other than that, I'm going to shut my pie hole. I'm going to go upstairs and get to work on one of these beautiful projects, because I am so excited to share with you guys what they're doing. I might have to start doing a WIP share, because anyway, you guys, take care. I love you, and I will see you guys real soon. Bye, guys.